Am I the astronaut for not carrying on a neighborhood tradition in the house I recently purchased? Interesting. I purchased my home a couple of years ago. My neighborhood is mostly families with children, as there is both an elementary and middle school in walking distance. I am child-free. The previous owners of my house, the Smiths, were a beloved couple in the community. She was the elementary school librarian and he the middle school health teacher. He was also the announcer for high school football games. They had one daughter who was killed by a drunk driver in the late 90s when she was 16, and it was a huge thing. The high school theater is named in her memory because she was active in the theater and choir programs. When they retired, they named the high school football field after Mr. Smith. The Smiths moved to Florida. I bought their house. Apparently, the Smiths also loved Halloween and went all out, building elaborate themed haunted houses in their garage every year, sometimes even going into their home for the kids to walk through during trick-or-treat. Planning started as soon as the school year ended, and Mr. Smith spent all summer building structures and props for it. They would take suggestions from the neighbor kids on what the theme should be. I did not know any of this when I purchased the home, but people have been sure to let me know since I moved in. Last year was my first trick-or-treat. I was excited to pass out cans of pop, something I remember getting a couple times as a kid and was thinking it was so cool. I wore a witch hat and a little battery-operated light-up cauldron from Spirit Halloween and dressed my dog up like a dragon and had a little setup at the end of my driveway with different buckets for the different pops. All night, everyone was commenting about how amazing the haunted houses used to be, reminiscing about the different themes, how nice it was that the Smiths did it for the neighborhood kids year after year even though they didn't have kids, how much the Smiths were missed. I had people who told me they drove in from other neighborhoods because of this haunted house and they were so disappointed it was no longer there. This probably sounds stupid, but I was kind of feeling crappy by the end of the night. For the past several weeks, my neighbors, kids and adults, have been asking me if I'm going to do a haunted house this year. One woman even offered that her husband would help me. Then today, someone wrote an anonymous post on our neighborhood Facebook group about how much the neighborhood has changed with so many new people moving in, how the kids have had such a hard time in the past couple of years because of COVID, and how it's important that we come together as a community and help them make memories because of their time lost. They specifically called out the haunted house on my street, in addition to a couple of other neighborhood events, block party, 4th of July bike parade, that went away during COVID and never came back as examples. I read the Facebook post to my mom. She said that I am being a grumpy old lady. I don't know how hard it is to be a parent, and thinks I should try to do something like the Smiths used to keep the tradition going. I want to be a good neighbor, but I'm kind of annoyed by the post and don't feel that I should be obligated to spend my time or money to build a haunted house or generally give strangers access to my house, even if the previous owners were generous in that way. So, am I the astronaut for not wanting to carry on this tradition? Potentially relevant, while people in this neighborhood do decorate their houses more than any other place I have lived, lights and fake graveyards most prominent. A couple of the more decorated examples include a 12-foot Home Depot skeleton, and someone had a Stranger Things themed yard display last year. No one I have seen has any sort of walkthrough experience. Okay. It's like she moved into Wisteria Lane. And do I lose points for knowing that? Yes, it was a Desperate Housewives. My thought here is 100% NTA. The fact that the people in the neighborhood know the Smiths moved. If they were that beloved in the community, the neighborhood knows damn well that they moved to Florida. When you move into a home, when you buy a home, you do not inherit the obligations of any kind of decorating or traditions that the previous owners had. If these neighborhood people care so damn much, why don't one of them spool it up in their house? Why don't they turn their garage into it and someone else takes it over? Yeah, the Smiths didn't have kids because they lost their child, which is terrible, but also she worked in the library. He was connected with announcing at the football games. They had a connection to the kids. They didn't have to have kids to have a connection with the kids, to have a connection with the school community. OP has none. The shit part here is that neighborhoods like this aren't going to be so forgiving when you don't do it. But you know what? F them. Mind your damn business. Get off my lawn. Not saying that's the route that you have to take or should take, but you have a choice here. You have a choice to either say, okay, I really want to be a part of this neighborhood community. I really want to be close-knit with them. I really want to be a part of this. And if that is the case, this is the cost. If not doing it yourself, offering to help someone else do it, or asking for more help help, like offering your house to let them do it there? Sure, something. If you want to be a part of that, it's never going to be like it was before, and they have to accept that. And again, I think if they care that much about it, one of them needs to take up the mantle. You didn't know these people. You had no connection to this whatsoever. If one of them cares enough, they need to take up the mantle. You, out of everyone in this neighborhood, are the least obligated to take up that mantle. And maybe that's the conversation. Maybe you need to clap back in this neighborhood Facebook group and be like, look, I bought this house. I just moved in here. I don't have any kids. I have no connection to the school at all. You guys knew them. Why doesn't someone else take it up? And watch them all backpedal. Oh, what helps you do it? It needs to be in the same house. No. DIY Dylan, what was the message here? Somebody said it was genius, so I got to go back and look it up now. Can't find it. The community, HLN, the community can come up with a committee to do it all together if they want, but NTA. That's what I'm saying. It's like she didn't even LP doesn't even have a connection to the community here. Just moved here. I think, the first question you have to answer yourself is like, what role do I want to play in this neighborhood? And you have every right to stand up and be like, look, I'm not doing this. Like, you guys can do something if you want to, and I'll do what I can, but I'm not going to carry on a tradition for someone who is way more hooked into the community than I am.